to order the meeting of the Planning and Development Committee meeting. Can I please have a roll call?
Councilor Lautensack.
Here.
Councilor Thompson.
Absent with excused.
Councilor Fitzgibbons.
Here.
At this time, I would like to have a motion to approve the minute meetings from March 2nd of 2026.
Second.
Councilor Fitzgibbons and Councilor Lautensack.
Councilor Lautensack.
Yes.
Councilor Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
At this time, I see no old business to attend to. Moving on to new business. Authorization. The Zoning and Planning Office requests authorization for the Common Council to approve the Verizon Wireless Telecommunications Facility Modification Application for the co-location of antennas at 300 East Albany Street.
I'll move.
Good evening. So we were here about a month ago to discuss 300 East Albany. There's an existing cell tower there that they're looking to cohabitate on. It then went to planning board, and we decided at the previous council meeting that we were going to bring it back here for your final decision on this. I don't know if anybody has any questions on it. It's an existing tower with existing equipment. Just another carrier looking to go on that tower.
No, we've sat in on a couple of the presentations. It's pretty straightforward, and it's using the same equipment. Doesn't really physically change the nature of the tower. So, thank you very much.
Okay. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
All right, and I'll second that. So Councilor Fitzgibbons and Councilor Lautensack?
Councilor Lautensack.
Yes.
Councilor Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Can I get a motion to close the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Councilor Fitzgibbons and Councilor Lautensack?
Councilor Lautensack.
Yes.
Councilor Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
This time, I'd like to open the Physical Services Committee meeting for March 16, 2026. Could I have a roll call, please?
Councilor Meyer.
Here.
Councilor Plunkett.
Here.
Councilor Ashline.
Here.
Councilor Kennedy.
Here.
Could I have a motion to approve the minutes from the March 2nd, 2026 committee meeting, please? Councilor Plunkett, Councilor Ashline.
Councilor Meyer.
Yes.
Councilor Plunkett.
Yes.
Councilor Ashline.
Yes.
Councilor Kennedy.
Yes.
I see no old business. We'll continue on with new business. Item 1, the city clerk's office has received a request from the Broadwell Hospitality Group for a waiver of the noise ordinance pursuing Oswego's Alumni Weekend from June 5th through June 7th, 2026. There's no one here. Did you get something from Shane? Go ahead.
Yeah, I spoke to the clerk's office on Friday, who relayed a bunch of information from the Broadwell Hospitality Group. It's in my ward. I have no objections to the proposal.
Yeah, I reached out to Shane also, and he's going to get hold of me Wednesday, but he said, it's pretty normal. It's not going to be he's not going to get carried away.
Yeah.
We can't hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Can you guys speak up? Thank you.
We'll try to. Could I please have a motion to approve? Councilor Plunkett, Councilor Kennedy. Have a roll call, please.
Councilor Meyer.
Yes.
Councilor Plunkett.
Yes.
Councilor Ashline.
Yes.
Councilor Kennedy.
Yes.
And that's all for the Physical Services Committee. Could I please have a motion to adjourn? Councilor Plunkett, Councilor Kennedy. Roll call, please.
Councilor Meyer.
Yes.
Councilor Plunkett.
Yes.
Councilor Ashline.
Yes.
Councilor Kennedy.
Yes. At this time, I'd like to call to order the Administrative Services Committee. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Plunkett.
Here.
Councilor Meyer.
Here.
Councilor Fitzgibbons.
Here.
Councilor Lautensack.
Here.
Councilor Ashline.
Here.
Could I get a motion to approve the minutes of the February 17th, 2026 committee meeting, please? Councilor Meyer, Councilor Lautensack.
Councilor Plunkett.
Yes.
Councilor Meyer.
Yes.
Councilor Fitzgibbons.
Yes.
Councilor Lautensack.
Yes.
Councilor Ashline.
Yes.
Is there any old business?
Let's move on to new business. Item 1 under authorization, the Office of Economic Development requests authorization for the city chamberlain to accept sponsorship funding in the amount of $31,250 for the 2026 summer concert series. I know we all got an email from Amy Murphy from Economic Development. This first authorization request is regarding the sponsorship of the 2026 summer concert series in the total amount of $31,250. $25,000 is from Constellation. They will be sponsoring the Thursday night concert series on the Veterans Stage again this year. $1,000 is from the Laborers Local 633 in Pepsalazzo. They are sponsoring the Cruise Line concert that is new this year. $1,000 is from Northern Asphalt LLC, and they are also sponsoring the Cruise Line concert. And $4,250 is from Oswego County Tourism and Planning, and they are sponsoring the Friday night concert series in Market Street Square. These are great entertainment for the city of Oswego, great events. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Can I get a motion, please? Councilor Lautensack, Councilor Fitzgibbons.
Counselor Plunkett,
Yes.
Counselor Meyer,
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgibbons,
Yes.
Counselor Lautensack,
Yes.
Counselor Ashline.
Yes.
Item 2 under authorization, Amy Murphy, Director of Economic Development, requests authorization to sign any and all contracts to host the Cruise Line Concert Series on Thursday, September 3rd, 2026, from 6 to 9 p.m. As it says, this authorization request is regarding permission to host a Cruise Line concert at Veterans Stage. This is new. This concert is in celebration of the American Cruise Line's disembarkment days in the city of Oswego. This is new. Does anybody have any questions? We all got the emails from Amy. If not, can I get a motion, please? Councilor Ashline, Councilor Fitzgibbons.
Counselor Plunkett,
Yes.
Counselor Meyer,
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgibbons,
Yes.
Counselor Lautensack,
Yes.
Counselor Ashline.
Yes.
Item 3 under authorization. Fire Chief Paul Canzone requests discussion regarding adjustments in the City of Oswego Fire Department ambulance rates for 2026. Chief Canzone?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Councilors, good evening. This is, well, I'll give you a little backstory. Every year, we review the ambulance rates compared to the market, the other EMS agencies in our area in central New York. So usually do this in the first quarter. So in your packet, you'll see what our current rate is and what the proposed rate is. So I'm happy to answer any questions related to that.
Does anyone have any questions for the chief?
Any questions? I met with the chief and we were over the rates and they seemed fair. You know, there was higher amounts, but you know, he kept it to an average, which I think is
Right.
fair.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments for the chief? If not, can I get a motion, please? Councilor Meyer, Councilor Lautensack.
Counselor Plunkett,
Yes.
Counselor Meyer,
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgibbons,
Yes.
Counselor Lautensack,
Yes.
Counselor Ashline.
Yes.
Item 4 under authorization. Fire Chief Paul Canzone requests authorization for the city chamberlain to accept a $300,000 CREST grant from Senator Christopher Ryan's office and complete a budget amendment not to exceed $596,217.77 for the purchase of self-contained breathing apparatus equipment, and further authorize the fire chief to execute any necessary documents for the purchase of said equipment. Chief?
Yep, thank you. So it's come time to replace our air packs, our breathing apparatus for our firefighters. So we were lucky enough, after applying for a couple of different types of grants over the last couple of years, we were lucky enough to work with Senator Chris Ryan's office. They were very helpful in securing this $300,000 grant. So this proposal allows us to order the air packs, get them replaced, and the $596, $217.77 that would come out of the general fund, and then $300,000 would go into that when we get reimbursed. So the net cost of the city would be just under $300,000, and it's going to replace 56 air packs, 112 air cylinders, 114 face pieces, and assorted adapters and software needed. So happy to answer any questions.
Councilor Lautensack?
How often do they have to be replaced?
So the air packs themselves, the actual with the harness and everything. They don't expire, however, they break down. So they're now 14 years old.
Okay.
And the cylinders, however, expire after 15 years, and you cannot use them anymore. That's a OSHA PESH requirement. So these new air packs, I will tell you, they come with a lifetime warranty. Our current air packs are out of warranty, so when one breaks, it has to be sent out for service and an expensive repair. Like I said, the new cylinders will be good for 15 years. So we'll be in this same spot, 12 to 15 years from now. Like I said, we started looking for grant opportunities for this major purchase a couple of years ago. So this is, getting the $300,000 from Senator Ryan was very helpful, so.
Right.
What
Any other-
about, I'm sorry, follow-up question. What about the masks? You
Yeah,
said the
so the
masks were included in that?
Yes, yep, yeah, so this purchase covers the whole ensemble, so the air pack, the cylinders, the face pieces. Each firefighter will be issued 2 face pieces. Each piece of hardware has associated warranties, so.
And is that replace all of our equipment? Or
Yep.
will we
Yeah,
sell
this
some?
actually includes, when I met with Bill, I took him through the whole thing. So each fire apparatus has a certain number of, each riding position has an air pack and an SCBA, and then there's extras on each piece. We have off-duty members that respond right to a fire without going to the station, so
Sure.
they grab the spare equipment. Yeah,
Thank you.
yep.
Any other questions? Counselor Meyer?
Just a comment, speaking from I was a former volunteer, this isn't a whine. I mean, these things are needed, not only for the safety of the firemen, but also for the safety of our constituents out the city. It's the only way they can get into a boring building and be safe and get the people out. So I would definitely encourage us to vote yes on this because it's an important piece of equipment that we're voting on.
Yeah, it's, just from a technology standpoint, technology changes quite a bit over the years. So if you just think of your cell phone or how that's changed in the last 12 to 14 years, same is true with firefighting equipment, and I'm sure on the law enforcement side too, everything changes, so.
Any other questions or comments for the chief? If not, can I get a motion, please?
You can do both.
Counselor Meyer? Counselor Lautensack?
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Meyer?
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgibbons?
Yes.
Counselor Lautensack?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Item 5 under authorization, Craig Rebuor, Commissioner of Public Works and Parks and Recreation, requests authorization for the City Chamberlain to complete a budget amendment in the amount of $34,000 to the Marina Personal Services account to fund security at Wrights Landing Marina. Mr. Commissioner?
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, councilors. We believe this to be a typo in the budget. This line item should have been funded in the budget. It was missed by the Chamberlain and myself in the budget process. That better? You hear me now? Okay, I'll yell. We believe this item to be missed in the budget. It was a zero. There, now I can hear myself.
Good, yay.
It was left blanked in the budget. It was missed by the Chamberlain and my office and the council when we did our budget workshop last June, July. It should be funded for marina security. This is overnight security at the marina to keep. We do have a lot of issues trespassing on the various boats and in the marina. Chief Cady will, DPW funds it. Chief Cady will staff it. We need the additional personnel, though. It's 7 days a week, 11 p.m. 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. is the shift.
Anybody have any questions for the commissioner? If not, can I entertain a motion?
Oh,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Whose budget is it coming out of? The general funds budget or?
Yes, this is a budget amendment, so it'll come out of general fund
Okay.
to DPW.
Any other questions?
That's President.
Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Counselor Fitzgibbons, Counselor Lautensack.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Meyer?
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgibbons?
Yes.
Counselor Lautensack?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.
Item 6 under authorization. Craig Rebuor, Commissioner of Public Works and Parks and Recreation, requests authorization for the city chamberlain to complete a budget amendment in the amount of $51,712.50 to the garage contracted services account for emergency snow removal trucking services. Commissioner?
This was a result of the snowstorm the week of January 9th. We declared state of emergency. We had the New York State DOT come in. You probably saw them out with the big snow blowers. To support the big snow blowers, you need dump trucks. County supplied 12 trucks. We hired an additional 12 from private contractor. This is to pay that bill.
Great.
County trucks were free.
Craig, do you have standing rates for contracted trucks like that?
Yes, there's contracted rates.
Contracted rates? So
Yes.
those are predetermined before the time comes along?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any other questions for the commissioner? If not, can I entertain a motion, please? Counselor Meyer, Counselor Lautensack.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Meyer?
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgibbons?
Yes.
Counselor Lautensack?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.
Item number 7 on our authorization. Craig Rebuor, Commissioner of Public Works and Parks and Recreation, requests authorization for the mayor to enter into a 4-year agreement with New York State Department of Transportation for shared service emergency assistance. Commissioner?
This is a routine agreement. We renew it every 4 years. The previous council actually approved this, but it didn't get signed, so I'm asking this council to approve it. This allows us to work with state DOT requesting equipment in emergencies, no questions asked, and I will say, for the most part, actually not even for the most part, to my knowledge, it's always, we're asking to borrow. The state has never asked us to borrow anything as of date, so it's a pretty good, fair deal for the city.
Any questions?
No.
Now, can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Counselor Fitzgibbons, Counselor Ashline.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Meyer?
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgibbons?
Yes.
Counselor Lautensack?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.
Item 8 under authorization. Craig Rebuor, Commissioner of Public Works and Parks and Recreation, requests authorization from the Common Council to enter into a 2-year agreement with Auctions International to provide online auction services for items that are no longer useful to the city of Oswego. Commissioner?
We have used Auctions International for several years now, going on maybe almost 2 decades. As it says, it's an international website for online auctions of municipal and private goods. We've had very good luck with this company. There is no cost to the city. It's a free service for us. And I think that's it.
Any questions? You got a
Counselor
motion?
Ashline.
Oh, I'm sorry. Counselor Ashline?
Can you
Sorry.
give us an example of some of the items that you would list on this auction site?
Normally, we do an auction once or twice a year. We'll do one here this spring. Depends on obviously how much turnover we have on equipment. List anywhere from 10 to 30 items, depending on what we have available. We collectively, we collect things from fire department and other departments as well. I know Chief Canzone is interested in possibly auctioning one of the old fire trucks, fire engines this year. We can set reserve. We don't have to accept the bids if we don't think that's high enough on whatever we're selling. Again, we do it once, maybe sometimes twice a year, usually spring, fall. And there will be a list provided, you see in the language, I'll come back to council with a list of what we plan on auctioning. With your approval, then we go to auction.
Counselor Lautensack?
I'm assuming the auction house just takes a percentage, is that what they do of the sale?
The auction house charges a surcharge.
Okay.
It's I forget the percentage, 3% or 10%
Okay.
to the purchaser.
Okay. Great.
Any other questions or comments?
And the threat of revenue goes back to general fund? Is that how, or does it go into the budget to which the item was sold from?
Revenue goes back to general fund, and I will usually come and ask for some of that towards
I
something.
would hope you would.
Yes.
Like
It
today?
did, sorry,
Like today?
like
Really?
today.
Like today?
It previously had funded, we upgraded the DPW, just for an example. We upgraded to 911 radio system at the tune of $3,000 per radio per vehicle. Auctions cover that entire cost.
Nice.
Great. Any other questions or comments? Now, can I get a motion, please? Counselor Meyer, Counselor Ashline.
Counselor Plunkett,
Yes.
Counselor Meyer,
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgibbons,
Yes.
Counselor Lautensack,
Yes.
Counselor Ashline.
Yes.
Item 9 under authorization. Craig Rebior, Commissioner of Public Works and Parks and Recreation, has received a request to accept a donation of 60 metal folding chairs from the Oswego Music Hall. Commissioner?
Oswego Music Hall is doing very well. Congratulate them on their success. They were able to purchase, I think in the rounds of 180 new chairs this year. So what to do with the leftover chairs? We graciously accepted, or hopefully accepting this donation. The chairs will be available at the McCroby Building, in the ballroom if someone's having an event or a conference or a meeting. We'll also move them to other buildings as needed. Sometimes we need them here when we have a full house. Rather than borrowing chairs from Music Hall, we gladly accept the donation and have our own.
Great. Any questions or comments? Can I get a motion, please? Counselor Lautensack, Counselor Fitzgibbons.
Counselor Plunkett,
Yes.
Counselor Meyer,
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgibbons,
Yes.
Counselor Lautensack,
Yes.
Counselor Ashline.
Yes.
Thank you.
Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 10 under authorization. The City Clerk's Office requests acceptance of a donation from the Oswego Public Library of 5 books of historical local files. I'm sure everyone here got the email today from Greg Castor. Just a little background. These volumes were part of a collection maintained by the Oswego Public Library, and in order to clean up the records, they have afforded several historic artifacts to Oswego's museums, SUNY Oswego, and to the City Clerk's Office. This helps to further the City Clerk's Office mission of proper and safe record retention. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Could I get a motion, please? Counselor Lautensack, Counselor Ashline.
Counselor Plunkett,
Yes.
Counselor Meyer,
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgibbons,
Yes.
Counselor Lautensack,
Yes.
Counselor Ashline.
Yes.
Item 11 under authorization. The City Clerk's Office requests authorization from the Common Council to destroy 7 outstanding checks issued between 1989 and 1996. As the email said today, these checks have been sent to the City Clerk's Office and are dated from the late 1980s to the mid-1990s. They have never been cashed, making them stale checks. They are from banks that no longer exist or from people or companies that are now defunct. 4 of the 7 checks are from a taxi company that hasn't operated in several decades. So they just want our permission to destroy these. Any questions? Can I get a motion, please? Counselor Meyer, Counselor Lautensack.
Counselor Plunkett,
Yes.
Counselor Meyer,
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgibbons,
Yes.
Counselor Lautensack,
Yes.
Counselor Ashline.
Yes.
Item 12 under authorization. Police Chief Philip Cady requests authorization for the City Chamberlain to complete a budget amendment to the Police Department equipment account in the amount necessary to replace and outfit a 2023 Dodge Durango for the Oswego Police Department. Chief Cady?
Thanks, Councilor Plunkett. This car was, we just were advised it was totaled in the ice storm that we had a couple weeks back. It was rear-ended by a box truck. So the insurance company should be covering the full replacement cost. This is mainly so I can get a new vehicle ordered before the Dodge changes over to the 2027 lines, which would then put this out 6 to 8 months. So basically, we'll get a check back from the insurance company for the cost of the vehicle that was totaled, which will cover most of, or if not all, the price of the new vehicle.
Great. Any questions for the chief? Could I get a motion, please? Counselor Lautensack, Counselor Meyer.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Meyer?
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgibbons?
Yes.
Counselor Lonzak?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief
Thank you,
Katie.
Chief.
That's everything from the Administrative Services. Anybody have anything else? Now, can I get a motion to adjourn, please? Counselor Fitzgibbons, Counselor Ashline.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Meyer?
Yes.
Counselor Fitzgibbons?
Yes.
Counselor Lonzak?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.
So at this time, I would like to call to order the Human Services Committee. May I get a roll call, please?
Counselor Kennedy?
Here,
Counselor Thompson?
excused.
Counselor Ashline?
Here.
So the minutes are not applicable here at this time. I don't see any old business. So moving on to new business. Item number 1, Councilor Kennedy requests discussion regarding coordination of community services addressing homelessness in the city of Oswego. So before we begin this discussion, I just want to acknowledge the level of community interest and ask that everyone remains respectful to the conversation so it can be productive. We want to express the purpose of the discussion to better understand the situation and explore how the city of Oswego can constructively can work constructively, with community organizations while also respecting the city's regulatory framework. I would like to ask Jeff McGann to come up and explain a little bit about the zoning, if you would, if you should, or Kevin. Okay, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Kevin Caracoli, City Attorney. Mr. McGann and I are working very closely on this issue. And I told Jeff that I wanted to come up here first just to lay out a few things and then certainly defer to him and anyone else from city government. As you know, when this was brought to our attention last week, the mayor very publicly indicated that he was going to bring his city attorney and the zoning office in and mobilize us to address a more specific issue. And then, to your credit, Mr. Kennedy, you've broadened the discussion, and certainly I applaud you for that. And though the public may not know it, and you passed over it very briefly, the last time that the Human Services Committee met in the city of Oswego was in 2009. Think about that, 2009, nearly 17 years ago, the Human Services Committee. And that's not an indictment of any past administrations or council. It's just the reality that there's been very little discussion in the field of human services as it concerns the city of Oswego and the Common Council. So again, Mr. Kennedy, as chair of the committee, I applaud you for that initiative. Homelessness is not a new problem, but it is more recent than the zoning laws in the city of Oswego. Zoning's been around for decades now, and the issue of homelessness, some would argue, has been around at least that long, but not necessarily in the city of Oswego. I say that because when you look at the zoning laws written many, many years ago pertaining to the city of Oswego, you will not find the word homelessness anywhere, not a single reference. And that, I don't say that to preclude the city's participation in this issue, but rather to highlight that this is not an issue that was first and foremost in the minds of past councils, mayors, framers of our charter and our codes. And perhaps now, and as a result of these discussions, we'll be addressing it more specifically. But I thought it was important to frame it that way, because it's very easy for people to say, well, the city should do something about it. Why is zoning getting in the way? Well, we haven't even addressed the issue in zoning, so how can we solve it without addressing the issue within our city charter and our code? And so that's first and foremost. But make no mistake, it is a problem that needs to be solved, and we are a community collectively that needs to solve this. And I'm very heartened and encouraged by the turnout tonight. And I offer no solutions. I don't know that anyone here does necessarily. I don't have a magic solution to offer you that makes everything right tomorrow. But I do hope that the discussion that we have tonight is the first of many that comes up with a solution that is workable for not only city government, but for the broader community. And so I wanted to frame it that way, but also share with you, and this is my 10th year as city attorney, and the room has only been this crowded a handful of times in that 10 years. And it's often as a result of some controversial issue. And that's the nature of what we do here. Most meetings, there's 2 or 3 people that are consistent, by the way, but 2 or 3 people that are here meeting after meeting. But this is a chance for the community to speak and for us to listen and to hopefully put our collective heads together to solve a problem. But I would be remiss if I did not say, and it didn't start last Monday night, it was just the latest example of the Corradino administration addressing this issue. And in my 10 years, with minimal exception, the first time that this has been really addressed in earnest. Yes, we have human services and social services organizations that have come before planning and zoning boards and we can point to as success stories that address a pocket of the problem, but not the problem holistically. And hopefully, again, tonight and with our discussions, we get that much closer. But from providing access to overnight shelters, providing funding for overnight shelters, or addressing these issues and having at least an awareness of it, I do think that Mayor Corradino needs to be recognized in that regard. I know he's not looking for that recognition, and I'm probably going to get in trouble tomorrow. But you know, his involvement started even before he was mayor, when he attended the Homeless Coalition Forum that was put on by the college, and many of the folks in this room tonight were there. So this is not an issue that has just been addressed or recognized last week because there was a push or momentum to do it. It's been a constant issue that maybe not always in the forefront of everyone's minds, but certainly has everyone's attention now. And so with that, Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to participate in any questions that come up throughout the discussion tonight, particularly of a legal nature. If there are any, I'm happy to answer them. But for now, I guess I'll defer. I don't know if Mr. McGann has anything more to add, so I'll sit down and turn it over to you.
My questions are more towards zoning, so I don't think, so probably Mr. McGann, but thank you.
Good evening. I'm Jeff McGann, the Planning and Zoning Director, for anybody that doesn't know me. And just to elaborate a little bit more on what Kevin touched on with zoning, I don't think there's anybody in the room that's not sympathetic with the needs of the community. And I think that everybody is here to try to find a path forward. That being said, as a municipality with laws, we have a process that we have to follow, that every case, there's not exceptions to it. Existing, we have Christina's House of Hope, we have Dazen's House, we have Victory Transformation, all doing great things in steps towards this. Is there a need for more? Absolutely. All the places that I mentioned have been through the process, which is planning and zoning, generally a special permit for the neighborhood that they're in. Just to touch on the case that came up last week, I've been working with Rachel probably 4 months to try to find a location and to go through that process. She started out with a location on 3rd Street that we thought was going to be good. She had a good planning board meeting. They asked for some more questions. They asked to table it till they got those answers, which is very common in any type of case in planning and zoning. In the meantime, she got a chance for a better location for her organization at less cost to make it more feasible. That being said, she's due to come back to the planning board. In the meantime, they were operating without having the full approval. Unfortunately, we had some issues and we had to issue a cease and desist. And I just want to put this on the record. This is not something that the mayor put out there. As the zoning director, following the laws and the rules that I have to follow every day, that came from me. That doesn't mean that the mayor wasn't copied on that, but the mayor, any more than the mayor tells the snowplows when to go out, or he tells Chief Katie when to go arrest somebody or issue a search warrant. He allows our department heads to do our job. Unfortunately, there's been an uptick of issues in that neighborhood. 8 police calls in less than 2 months. One of which, on the 2nd of February, there was a harassment in progress, and a man was threatening people with a knife and had to be taken into custody at gunpoint for refusing to drop the knife. The reason that we send things to planning board and zoning board is because they're a 7-member board. It's not a single person making a decision. It's not me saying that she can't operate. It's not the mayor saying she can't operate. It's a fair and equitable process where we send out legal notices to neighbors and they're allowed to come in and voice their support or concerns before a decision is made. That being said, for her new location, Rachel is on the schedule for April to come back to the planning board. It's a new case because it's a new location. So her voice will be heard for that location. But like any other case, before there's an approval in place, whether it be for an auto mechanic shop or a donut shop, or in this case, for a community center, because we have zoning laws and we have rules to follow, we have to go through that process. We can't operate doing these things before we have the approval. That's the reason for the cease and desist. It wasn't the city saying that Rachel can no longer operate in this city ever. It wasn't that the city was saying we're against this. We're not. There's probably not a person in this room that homelessness, addiction, somebody coming from jail hasn't been affected by a family member or a friend. This pulls on the heartstrings, I'm sure, of every person in here. And the fact that Councilor Kennedy is looking to have a discussion on this to try to move us forward, I think it's important for all of us to do our part, to share our ideas, but respectfully, and to understand that we do have a process that we have to follow. It's not easy for me certain days to do my job, any more than it's easy for Chief Calhoun or Chief Katie or Mike Cleary, the code enforcement director, but we're all given a set of laws and rules that we have to follow. I'm happy to take any questions from the council.
So,
Hopefully that,
yeah, no, that's great. So I just, for like the record, what does like the normal process of an organization like Haven of Hope like have to go through, and how long does that process typically take in our city?
so generally, what Rachel is going for a community center is a special permit in a zone where it's allowed. That being said, so that everybody understands, in a TN2 neighborhood, which is where that 4th and Utica location is, a community center is allowed by special permit. And what that means is it goes to planning and zoning for 2 boards to then look at the case. The planning board looks at everything, and then they make a decision to the zoning board, whether favorable or unfavorable, based on the information. The reason that when she went for 3rd Street, they asked to table it because they didn't have all the information that they needed, and they didn't want to vote no on it. They expressed their support to her, they just had questions. And I've been very forthcoming with Rachel through this whole process of the questions that she was going to face, security, lighting, so that neighborhoods, whatever area she goes in, to know the protection level. Because we owe it to everybody to understand what's going on and to be protected. At that 4th and Utica location, we're a block and a half from an elementary school. So when there are concerns, we have to take that into consideration. I don't get a vote on this. The mayor doesn't get a vote on this. Attorney Caracoli doesn't get a vote on this. It's the planning board and zoning board, 2 7-member boards made up of common folk that live amongst us, business owners, people that hold 9-to-5 jobs that live amongst us. That's how we get fair decisions, not by one person making that decision. A cease and desist is a temporary thing. And I've told Rachel this. This was more, just as much to protect her as it was to protect the neighbors. Because operating without the approval, no matter what the business is, it is harmful to your decision. We don't want that to happen. I think we're all here for the right reason to try to move this forward. But it's also important that everybody understands what is actually happening. And everybody understands the rules in the process. To answer the rest of your question, a special permit is planning board and zoning board. So that can be done in 1 month if you're not asked to come back with more information. Depending on the project, it could be a housing project. It could be a project like this, or it could be a commercial business. There are times when more information is requested and they table it for another month to let people get their information and come back. It's not a real long process. The only reason this has been going on for a few months is to try to find the right location. And then after we had one location, a different location came up that she felt was going to be better for her, understandably so.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions. Does anybody else have any? Councilor Ashline?
Jeff, can you tell me if there's a charge to the planning board application?
Is there a fee?
A fee.
There is a fee.
What is the fee?
Special permit, I would have to look. I don't want to, it's a couple $100. It might be $400. Now, that being said, the fact that she's coming back for a different location, we would waive the fee the second time back because she's already paid a fee, but we do have to bring her back under a different case number and a different application because it's a totally different neighborhood. We can't bring it back as old business because it's not the same location.
Did you discuss waiving the fee for the second application? Okay. All right. That's all.
Anything else?
Any other questions from anybody else? Oh, Council Valensack?
What is the difference between the one on East 3rd and East 4th? The locations, the zoning?
The Victory Transformation?
No, the other location that Haven
Oh.
Hope is looking at.
Oh, the
Zoning-
East 3rd over
Yes,
by the,
East versus East 3rd.
I believe that's traditional business, which it's also allowed there by special permit.
So it's the same.
So there are multiple zones that's allowed by special permit, correct? Yeah, and that should be clear, is that it is allowed in these zones, and that, again, that's why when you look at the zoning chart, and it gives you, there are certain things that say, there's an X, it's absolutely not allowed. There's things that are allowed by special permit, and the reason for that is because it has to go through that process of planning and zoning and two sets of boards to make sure that whatever the business is, it fits correctly. Part of the definition, and Councilor Caracoli can probably clean me up on this, but part of the stipulation for a special permit is that it doesn't have a negative impact on the neighborhood that it's going in. Whether I want to start an auto mechanic's garage at my house, is that going to have a negative impact in my neighborhood with people coming and going and me banging and pounding? The same thing with this. You get legal notices sent out so the neighbors, like I said, can come, the public can come and express their either concern or support for something.
Any other questions from any councilors? Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. McGann. Appreciate
You're
your
welcome.
time. Thank you. So, at this time, I wanted to invite community leaders like Rachel from Haven of Hope to speak about the important services that they offer. I also want to emphasize that the purpose of this discussion, again, is to not assign blame to anyone, but is to better understand the situation, identify potential barriers organizations may face, and explore ways the city can work collaboratively with community partners. So, Ms. Hendricks, if you would like to come up, please.
Hello. So I would like to address the fact that we moved into this space before getting proper zoning. The reason being it was an emergency situation. We had 20 to 25 people that would have been left outside in the snow, in the freezing temperatures from 8 o'clock in the morning until 8 at night unless Victory was able to open up earlier. That is why we went into the church when we did. And that emergency situation hasn't quite ended yet. It's still very cold, it's still raining. There is still a period of time where people are outside all day long in the elements where there are other places they could go, but they're not welcome. Haven of Hope was a safe space without judgment. We did not turn people away. We did occasionally encounter a moment when we needed the police, but also that could happen anywhere in the city. And the gentleman that took the knife out, he wanted to go to jail. He wanted to go to jail because he didn't want to be outside anymore. He didn't want to be homeless anymore. He wanted to have a place to go and sleep and shower because that wasn't something that was available. And we dealt with that in a very quick and proficient way. The police came, they handled the situation, they commended us on the way we handled the situation. We're trained, we know how to de-escalate, we know how to perform a CPR or first aid if necessary. We know how to behave in emergency situations. Do you all have any questions that I can answer?
So I have a question. So, how do you, sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to frame it. How do you foresee this path moving forward? Like, we don't, to the city attorney's and Mr. McGann's point, we don't want a kind of a fiasco, for lack of a better word, to happen again. We are, a city of laws and everything, and I understand all that. I understand your predicament as well, which you offer a great service to people who are desperately in need. And so both sides of the coin, for sure, we need both sides to work together and not enemies. So if, worst case scenario, if April 7th does not go your way, how do you foresee moving forward after that meeting?
What would our options be? If we're
Okay.
not able to stay in the church, where could we go? This is a service that's really needed. And we would like to find a place that is easy to access for our participants, as well as is a safe place for the neighborhood. We figured that being in the church, it was on the corner, there weren't any houses on either side, really. So with the ladies' home that is vacant right now, we would send people to go have a cigarette, they'd go down to the corner. There aren't homes right there that they're standing in front of. Then we were told that people were loitering. Well, they weren't loitering, they were all going out to have a cigarette together. It appeared like it was loitering. So the suggestion was, can we move everybody to the parking lot? We did that, and that was a problem also. We couldn't supervise them as easily, and we like to be able to supervise. A solution to that could have been, well, we'll send a staff member out with everybody when they go out. Because we can't say, no, you can't go have a cigarette if you want one. We want it to be a space that is easily accessible in all ways. We're not trying to condemn anybody because they want to go have a cigarette. So I don't know. If we can't stay in the church and the city does not approve us to stay in the church, then what are our options? This is a service we want to provide for the city, and it's needed.
The original location you had was in a traditional business neighborhood.
Yes.
Not a traditional neighborhood. So, the dynamics of residents and cohabitants in a traditional business neighborhood are slightly different, and just knowing that East 3rd Street location, it's less than impactful. It had, I think, once occupied by Coco, another service provider to the community. So would you revisit that location?
We could revisit that location, absolutely. When we moved into the church, our funds were limited.
Right.
So they offered a space that we didn't have to pay for. I mean, that was kind of, we were in an emergency snowstorm situation. We needed to get people safely.
And we're very, all of us are incredibly empathetic with what you're doing. And so your work is meeting a need in the community that's not otherwise among the other providers, which is also an important thing for us to be aware of the other service providers in the community that you interact with, because it's a fabric of support for a very vulnerable population. We're aware of that. And really our goal is, and I'm sure yours is the unhomed and the homeless are a population that should be zero. We
That
should
would
be
be
all
wonderful.
striving for that. That should be, and supportive housing, there's a lot of issues that we should be putting on the table as well, because this is a very transitory, hopefully a very transitory population that we can move to more solid, and when the jail looks to be a more solid option than the other options, then we can do better as a community to come up with alternatives. But in fairness to everyone that has probably, from your point of view, put hurdles in front of you, some of these hurdles are there to allow opportunity for discussion and compromise. And the neighbors in that neighborhood, maybe over time, maybe with integration, would come to realize, that your cohabitation in there is not threatening. But it certainly comes off with all the visuals of the change of a very quiet, placid church now surrounded by people on the street. That seems different. And different is not bad, it's just different.
Right, yeah.
So I would, you know, certainly I think that the path that you have is to go to the August, I believe that still remains a path.
In April.
April.
Yeah, April, I'm sorry, April, it's an April, a month. April planning with the potential occupancy there. But I think you pointed out that might face hurdles. You might get pushback. And I would have a plan B. And if the planning board was seemingly supportive, be it the economic hurdle of the East Third Street location, you know, it was the barrier. Maybe we should be working on how to help you solve that problem.
I would love that.
But you know, that's probably a less impactful. You know, I think that's what we should do. We should, as a community, find a way to help you remove some of those barriers, and because you know, on the back of that neighborhood, with the fear that could be generated in a traditional neighborhood, that might be our option.
I completely understand that the neighborhood might see us as a threat.
Yep.
I think we should be working to squash that stigma more.
Yep.
You know, more education for the community. Just because somebody looks homeless doesn't necessarily even mean that they're homeless.
But our goal is to work on the supportive housing and those issues that can home people that
Yes.
you know, that really is our strategy, I think, as a community.
Absolutely.
You know, they say that the only constant in life is change, and people don't necessarily like change. And I can see that from the neighbor's perspective, that change is weird and uncomfortable, but
It can be scary.
and scary. But at the end of the day, you know, this is why I had called this, you know, discussions, because we want to get different leaders together. You, like OCO, other organizations, DSS, like to get organizations together. Like, for example, I told my aunt about the Office for Aging. Sorry, I told my aunt about the Office for Aging, and they offer a service where they could take people to doctor's appointments. She didn't know about that. Her husband has dementia. My uncle has dementia, and they have to go to Syracuse. She's terrified of driving to Syracuse.
Yeah.
So, you know, these services exist, but people don't know about them. And so, you know, getting people to know those, like, I'm sure you have pamphlets or whatever to give to people
Yes.
to get in touch with certain organizations, but that's what we need to get to that level. So,
Chance?
sorry,
Yeah.
Councilor Meyer.
I was at that planning board meeting when you were giving your presentation, and I know one of the issues was security. If you give an insight, Chief Katie will probably kill me tomorrow, but maybe getting a hold of Chief Katie and coming up with suggestions.
That would be
You could have some
fantastic.
suggestions that,
Yeah.
You know, he may be able to help out.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think it would benefit not only the planning board, we go for them, but it will also benefit neighbors and community. to say,
Absolutely.
you know, we've discussed a security plan, we have a plan in place. I think that may put everyone's, you know, at ease a little bit more.
Sure, yeah.
Just a suggestion, I don't know. But, you know, I'm sure, you know, you might be able to come up with some kind of plan, and again, it would put everyone, you know, at ease, both planning board, community, just a suggestion.
Sure, yeah, that's a wonderful suggestion. Thank you.
Councilor Lonsack.
Is the only reason you are choosing this location because of finances?
Not at this time.
What is setting this location as the primary location versus the old location?
Because they're very supportive of our mission.
Okay.
And we've joined them in their mission to help the community. And we love it there.
Chance?
Oh, sorry.
Just to understand, was the previous application tabled? Is that how was the standing of the previous application?
The original visit the planning board for the Third Street location, as I said, they had a great meeting, they asked a lot of questions, but they did have some questions on security and exterior lighting and a couple other things. And they said, we'd like to table this for you to come back
Sure.
and risk it being no mistake. The reason that it's a new case is because it's a new location.
Sure.
You can't bring it back as old business.
I'm just thinking of the logistics. We have two locations, one organization, common concerns. One's a traditional business, one's a traditional neighborhood. And we have burned through some time in the dance of consideration. I'm wondering, they can't consider both locations at the same meeting?
I don't know that I've ever encountered that. I don't know that it's necessarily improper to do that. That would be two separate applications for consideration. I will say in either location, to get into a little bit more detail on what the zoning regulations state and the criteria that any use and application is judged by, let me just share with you briefly under section 280.27. That's the criteria for granting a special permit. Special permits granted by the Zoning Board of Appeals. It's not an automatic approval. That would be a use as permitted by right. The only type of use in the city of Oswego and most communities that's permitted by right is building a home, a one-family home. No zoning approvals needed. Just go get your building permit and off you go. Just about every other use in the city of Oswego requires at least a special permit and a site plan. All right, so with respect to the special use permit, the Zoning Board of Appeals shall, not may, not sometimes, but shall take into consideration the public health, safety, and general welfare, and the comfort and convenience of the public in general, and that of the immediate neighborhood in particular. And when doing so, the Board of Appeals shall determine, and there's a whole laundry list of things to determine. I'm only going to read a few of them that are relevant. Number one, though, is the use will be in harmony with and promote the general purposes and intent of this chapter referring to the zoning code. The second criteria, that such use will be in harmony with the permitted uses in the general area of the property and shall not be detrimental to such uses. Third, the proposed use will not have a significant adverse impact on adjacent properties. And number four, the lot shall be of sufficient size, appropriate and adequate for the proposed use, and the reasonably anticipated operation and expansion thereof. So I won't belabor you with the rest of it, but you see a pattern here. It's what is the use? Is it in harmony with the rest of the neighborhood? Does it fit? Are there issues? And if it doesn't, or if there are concerns, that's what the special permit criteria and the zoning board's authority allows it to weigh and to then fashion conditions or remedies to address that potential imbalance. So to answer your question, Counselor, I don't think it would be completely inappropriate to consider both locations in one meeting. They're two separate applications, essentially the same criteria, but in fairness to the applicant, I don't want it to be a
I'm not saying what has to happen.
Right.
I want to say what is possible. And
Sure.
again, because we've all felt an urgency to help address an unmet need. And there are limitations of what we can do within our authority.
I would say, I was at that meeting, as many of you were, and Mr. McGann said it, the zoning board did not vote. They tabled. They were looking for more information. And frankly, what Ms. Hendricks has put together in the interim is fantastic, very well done. And just one other word, I'm not looking to litigate your situation tonight, but you've done all the heavy lifting already. You're a 501c3 organization.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. And I applaud you for that. But what that does is that opens you and your organization up to the entire world of funding.
Absolutely.
And so the funds are out there.
They are.
The social services folks will tell you, maybe they're a little more tighter and limited now in certain areas, but there are funds available, and there is a whole community and region of really well-intended, like-minded people that no doubt are willing to give to your cause and to others like it. So I applaud you, and I encourage you to raise those funds to continue your success.
Thank you.
Councilor Lontak?
I have one more question. I was also at that planning board meeting, and I know we talked about quite a few things that the planning board brought up. The other thing that I believe they brought up was staffing. Do you feel like you are better staffed now than you were 2 months ago?
I think it's the same, pretty much the
Okay.
same. We try to have 2 staff on at all times and multiple volunteers. And a lot of our participants kind of graduate from the program and then become volunteers. And we actually do have more funding now, so we'll be able to hire people.
Councilor Meyer?
Between the two sites that we're looking at right now, is there a big difference in internals of each building as far as like things that we could do more in one than another, with showers or whatever it is?
Well, the church has,
Facilities,
I think that the church is more suited. We have a kitchen there. We're able to feed people multiple times a day. We were able to even discuss putting a shower in, so it would have been like a one-stop shop. You know, people come in, they can get help with services or connected to resources, as well as have a meal and take a shower. We do also provide laundry services on Tuesdays, so people would be able to store all of their stuff there also. We do love being at the church. I think they like having us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hendricks. At this time, does any other community members or leaders wish to speak on this discussion today?
Yes, thank you. My name's Kevin Dean. I'm the Executive Director for Oswego County Opportunities. First, I want to thank this committee for coming back together after 17 years and on a very important topic, a very timely topic for the county. At OCO, we are one of the larger participants in a community trying to fight homelessness in the county. Because of the complexity of the problem and our ultimate goal of, meeting the housing needs of the people of the county, it requires many organizations to deal with. We welcome the city of Oswego for wanting to contribute, but I want to point out that there's already efforts being done by individual parts of the city of Oswego government. So to start, at OCO, we're very proud to be part of the Safe Options Support First program that was launched in 2022. There are 11 of these out in New York that are outside of the city. Oswego County is lucky to have one of these. It's supported by 2 case managers, a clinician, and a mental health peer who provide outreach support, canvassing, and then direct services as on a case-by-case basis with the homeless in the community. We receive referrals from partner organizations like our partners at Haven of Hope, as well as city organizations, the library chief, the police department, and this kind of partnership throughout the county is what allows the program to proceed. That said, we do welcome the ideas, I believe you proposed, sir, of establishing a task force or a meeting or a group for a limited period of time, tackle some special challenges that we're facing with homelessness in Oswego City and potentially throughout the county. I would recommend that it not be something where we spend 3 months developing terms of reference and then another 6 months on an assessment, but that we come together, look at what resources are there, identify the immediate gaps, and then bring together to either this group or the county legislature or the state assembly, wherever it's the appropriate place, to identify what specific resources we need in order to meet those gaps. I can say in 2025, our outreach reached 79 people, 48 men and 31 women. And we know that that was not filling the entire need. Identifying the full need, not just in the city, but throughout the county, is going to need that team effort. I have some of my colleagues here who are real technical experts who are providing the direct services if there are questions for them about how it works. But a lot of these things are, better handled in a slightly less formal environment where we can sit at a table, write down the numbers, and identify where the gaps are. That's it for me.
So my vision, I guess, if you will, is this is the first baby step in that direction, and I don't wish to take an exorbitant amount of time developing some kind of meeting with community partners and city government, anything. I would like to do some kind of monthly meeting where we all get together and kind of figure out those gaps like you've spoken of and figure out how we can close them. I don't imagine, obviously, it would be ridiculous of me to say that we were going to solve homelessness tonight, but the goal is to get the conversation going.
Yes.
And to get people on the same page with regards to how do we help combat this issue together instead of tearing people apart.
Yes.
So again, this forum is just open up dialogue and get things going in the right direction. And I'm very happy that you're here. I don't have any specific questions for you. Just I guess the only question maybe I have is that the group that you spoke of, I don't remember the acronym or whatever you said, the SAFE.
It was SOS, so you can tell the government came up with it. No offense.
So that organization or that part of the department or whatever is countywide, you said?
Yes.
Okay, all right, perfect. So they don't just focus on one particular area, it's kind of wherever they're needed, right?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Does anybody else?
Who would you identify as the key partners that you work with and in the community?
Oh, sure. I have a list written down here.
I asked on cue, didn't I?
Yeah. Okay. Dason's House, Farnham, Friends of Recovery, Haven of Hope, the Police Department Social Worker, Oswego Health, the Library, Lobdell, and Victory.
Okay. And that group, you think, if configured, would be able to identify the capacity?
I wouldn't want to speak for the other not-for-profits, but yes, I believe so.
Those are the people you look to
Yes.
in the community. So that's a good starting point, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Councilor Lonsack?
You support the county, so where is the largest need within the county? Are we in the top tier of that, I would assume?
I would have to, you said Fulton was first, right? So second after Fulton.
Okay, thank you.
Because I think Oswego County itself only has 2 cities in it, technically.
Well,
I'm just saying.
That is true, but we actually do have homeless that are not located in the 2 cities.
I've always considered growing up, Pulaski was a city, and it's not. It's like a town or village or whatever it's technically called. But I just figured because they have a Burger King, they're a city. But whatever.
I've been to cities that don't have a Burger King.
But yeah, any other comments or anything?
And thank you for.
Thank
what
you.
you're
for
doing.
coming.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, appreciate it. Any other community members or leaders or anybody else would like to speak at this time?
Sat too long. Hi, Chris Quateri, Ward 7. Excellent conversation. I know you got a hard job to do. Great job by the city attorney and spelling out the code, because that's what this issue is going to be. We all want it done, but there's a reason some of those codes are in place. The reason why we have 7-person boards, because it's a good field for everyone. Councilor Kennedy, you said sometimes the public's not open to change. I agree with that, and that's kind of why we have to keep it within the codes, within the zones, and within everyone that's part of the conversation. We also can't be afraid to, on your shelters, when we run out of beds, do we utilize county shelters?
I don't do the overnight, so I'm not sure
Okay.
about that.
No, but they have. Okay, but the county, so we have, my point is, we have a lot of resources through the county, right? Last week, some points were made about our youth bureau only getting whatever the price was, $131,000. Well, that's a number. We have an excellent youth program through the county that covers the city. So it's important. We have 3 or 4, however many shelters we had put in place. Police department's always good for a backup. But also, maybe the other part of that is we look to utilize some of the other kingdoms that are in place, you know, utilizing some of the county resources. Fairly new to the count to the city as far as business. I will tell you, you know, the business of setting up different kingdoms, one kingdom's a county and one kingdom's a city, we kind of got to get around that. I think if we utilize all of our resources, because it is something. I understand what the point was made about the gentleman and the knife, but you're never going to convince a neighborhood that he wanted to go to jail, so he pulled out a knife. So, right, you're never going to convince them that's okay to do. So that's why we've got to keep the things in place. If we got to tweak zoning, your old place, if it works, and it can, the people that support you at the other place, well, maybe they just take an Uber over and give you money over there. So I back it, but we've got to back it going into it smart, and we got to keep some things in place so it's a whole community involvement, not just one little section. And people do have a right to, you know, speak out about what's in their neighborhoods and the impact it's going to have in those areas. So keep up the good work, and hopefully this goes somewhere.
Thank you, appreciate that. Anybody else would like to speak at this time? Okay. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Sorry, I didn't see you over there. Okay.
Hello, my name is Kyle Zentars. I'm here kind of representing Organize Oswego, a grassroots mutual aid organization, kind of just being a person here in the community. I wanted to at least raise some of the why this is urgent, because I think we can talk about all of the intricacies of it, and the urgency is still there. Being urgent, being prepared to manage emergency situations is so vital in the community. We aren't talking about people just happen to have to switch housing somewhere else. We are worried about people having to sleep outside in the winter in Oswego, New York. And I think the urgency to that is very important to keep priority. So I just wanted to share at least the insights of the changes that have happened that have led to some of this, because I think as you make policies, as you determine what is funded, all of this is tied together. We've had a 10.4% increase in rent, and that was from 2024 to 2025. Increases in rent historically throughout the country cause homelessness. We know that statistically, research proves it. You can look at all the studies. Higher rents lead to homelessness. We've had increase in funding, or in fees for groceries, national grid bills that people can't afford to pay, gas prices, home repair costs. So having safe housing is also really difficult for people right now. So I know that the idea that this hasn't been an issue in the community was raised before. And I do want to question that a little bit by saying, like, in 2024, there was a resolution to kick people out of parks in the summertime, unless you were a fisher. That is a clear distinction of who you are taking out of a community and putting somewhere else. And that was in the summer. That's an issue. So we can't say that we weren't thinking about this. We were. We watched people criminalize unhoused people. And that's not okay. We should have no one on the streets. And no one should be criminalized because they are living on the streets. And I think that's really important. I know, I wasn't supposed to like blame anybody, but
Yes, I was going to say, please don't.
sorry, I
that's-
can't.
I get it. I get your passion, and I'm there with you. But I just
Yes,
this
solutions.
This isn't the forum
Solutions.
for that. So
I'm going solutions. As a grassroots organization, we are part of the community that is helping Haven of Hope. We've done food. We've provided food. We have people who volunteer their time and money and funds to show up and cook food, to be a part of the community that is built there, to get to know people who are unhoused, who are in instability, who don't have what they need. And I encourage you to do that. We can talk as people who are looking at this as service providers. I'm a mental health counselor, I'm a service provider. But as a person, we have to connect with the people who are experiencing this directly. We don't know what their needs are unless they're telling us directly, honestly, and that they can trust that we care enough to listen. So I encourage you again, listen to the people who are experiencing this, and then listen to the people who are the helpers who are working with them directly. Like, those are the people who matter in this conversation. We know what the struggle looks like. We see it every day. I'm a mental health counselor at a college campus, and I can't tell you how many times I say to a student, "Are you financially doing okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine. Living paycheck to paycheck. I'm hopping couches. I'm unable to buy food, so I'm skipping a couple meals a day." And that's someone who sees themselves as doing fine. There is a huge need, and just because it isn't always visible, and we work as a society sometimes to make it not visible without offering solutions, I think it's very important that we continue to look for solutions and to make it a priority, because no one should sleep outside. No one should sleep outside. And I'm very happy that this is happening, so I appreciate you doing this, and that the Human Services Committee exists and is active again since 2009, which is absurd, but great, thank you. And as a grassroots organization, we don't receive any funding. We are just a bunch of volunteers who really care about this community. So if we could be included in any of this planning and discussion, would love that.
absolutely, no. That's why we're this discussion to get everybody involved who has any kind of say or input or help us get to a better place as a collective. That's the goal of, that's my goal of opening this discussion for that, is to get to kind of some kind of, not solve it, obviously, because that's probably realistically not going to happen, but to get a better, get us to a better place for everybody involved, especially the unhoused.
Yes.
So that's the goal.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Not used to the back and forth, but thank you.
Would anybody else like to speak at this time?
Hello. My name is JT. I'm with Haven of Hope. I also work for Victory. When we arrived tonight, when we pulled up, as we got onto the sidewalk, I heard my name, and I couldn't find where the faces were. I thought I was in my brain for a minute. When I looked over, all of our clients were under the Christmas tree, staying dry. And I asked them, "What are you guys doing?" And they said they wanted to see how many people were going to come and fight for them today. They could not believe, by me telling them, by Rachel telling them, they would not believe that people would go to this length to fight for them, when every day they walk down the sidewalk, and when people see them, they clutch their purse, grab their kid, because of their appearance. So they could not fathom that people were going to come together as a community. And I hope that this isn't just another reactionary message, because it was in the newspaper and you guys got tons of phone calls. I mean, I hope that we really take this opportunity and this time to find a proper solution and find it quick. Every single day we wait, they're outside. Every single day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., they are outside. The Dunkin' Donuts in the community have instituted 20-minute policies for them. Even if they buy a cup of coffee, 20 minutes, you're out, because of the way they look. They didn't ask me to leave after 20 minutes. Why would you make them? So there's all this public support, and by the way, before I go any further, there's countless people have reached out to us this week and showed us their true support. One guy almost caused an accident pulling over to give Rachel $50 because faith is believing in things you cannot see, right? Making the hopeless have hope. Those that have fear have no more fear. Right now, not only do they not have a place to go all day, but the stress and anxiety of where are they going to go on April 30th because the shelter's closed. That's when it closes until October 1st. Where are we going to go? And when we do go there, are we going to get arrested? Are we going to get moved away? Are we going to get yelled at? Are we going to get criticized? What and where should we go? Where is a safe space for them? And that's why Haven was so important. And I'm not just saying that because I volunteer work there. Is that a double negative? I volunteer work. I'm not just saying that. I'm saying that because it really has been a haven for them, a place that they can go no matter what is going on in their life, and we can make them turn things around. It's been a long night. It's been a long few months. It's been a real long few months, and I just want it to be over. Not for us, but for them. And I hope that we can come together sooner than later. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I've heard you speak, JT, and I appreciate everything you've said. This isn't a fad for me. This isn't a pet project. This is a pet project. This isn't something that's going to go away quietly. My goal is to, reviving this committee is to get this conversation started for the entire city to help this issue that we're all about 2 paychecks away from facing ourselves. So yeah. But anybody else want to speak at this time?
Hi, my name's Danielle. I'm a community member that lives not very far from where Haven of Hope is. Police have been there 8 times. Sure have. I live within blocks of that. Do you know how many times I would have known that the police had been there if not for sitting in this meeting and not volunteering for Haven of Hope? 0. Because these things were handled appropriately. I also work with Haven of Hope. I provide transportation services to the unhoused. Now, most people sitting here think of the 30, 40-something-year-old person sitting on the side of the road, panhandling, looking for money, looking for food. Let me tell you, the majority of the people that I transport for the Haven of Hope are seniors. They're in their 70s. They should be living their best life right now. They were working. They lost their homes because of rising housing costs. They lost their homes because they were unsafe and deemed unsafe to live in. 70 and 80-year-old men and women pushing walkers. That's what Haven of Hope stepped in on an emergency basis to help. How many of them do you think would have made it through one of the harshest winters Oswego County has seen in years? Because I'm here to guess, not many. There's a gentleman at Haven, not going to say his name. He calls me every time he needs a ride, be it to Farnham or to Walmart, to the doctors, over to Haven. And that man tells me at least 3 times a week, I've lived through 9 heart attacks. I'm on the streets. I have nowhere to go all day. It would be easier for me right now to go throw myself off the bridge. But I don't, because of people like you and Rachel and JT and Bree from Farnham. Because you genuinely make me feel seen, heard, and wanted here. I'm going to share something that not even Rachel and JT know about me, despite working with them. Less than 10 years ago, I was homeless. But I wasn't homeless alone. I was homeless with my 5 children. No, we weren't living on the streets. DSS was willing to help us because I had kids. They put us in a hotel that served the purpose. But at that time, my children ranged in age from 4 to 13. They gave us 2 hotel rooms because we were such a big family, 6 of us. We couldn't all fit in one. There's only 2 beds. I was made to allow my children, my 3 sons, who at the time were 12, 10, and 8, to sleep in a hotel room, unsupervised, by an adult, all night long, with no adjoining door to our hotel rooms. This is the reality that homeless people and homeless families are facing every single day in this community. Because that, I was lucky. I at least had a roof over my head. I had some place to stay warm. I had some place to stay cool. I had some place to stay out of the elements. I walked in with JT. And I will tell you that the homeless individuals who I've not only come to know by name, but have grown to love as a part of a family, because that's what Haven of Hope is. They're a family. And I assure you, as a family, they're holding each other accountable for their actions. Like JT said, Dunkin' Donuts, 20 minutes. 20 minutes. That's what they give these people to get out of the cold, out of the weather. Funny story. I sat at Dunkin' Donuts unbothered for an hour and a half having coffee with a friend today. It was okay for me to be there for an hour and a half. It was okay for my friend to be there for an hour and a half. Again, I'm going to drive it home based on how I looked. We need to do better as a community. And I do thank you for opening up this forum and getting the conversation started. But we need some place for these people to go at least in the temporary, all day, not just for 12 hours. It's still cold. It's rainy. I didn't want to walk out of my car to come in here because it was so cold and rainy. Yet people that I know and love are sitting under a tree, huddled together, just trying to stay warm and stay dry. We need to do better. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody, anyone else like to speak at this time?
Hi, my name's Mike. I just got a couple things that were said tonight. It was asked, when we look at a new service like this, we look at the community and is it in harmony with our neighborhood. I'd like to just point out that that church is also surrounded by 3 other churches, and Victory Transformation is right around the corner. Being a Catholic and Christian community there, I think 100% they would support the homeless. Also, I worked with Rachel for several years, super passionate, and the thing that's going to make her succeed in this is that you have to form relationships with people, and she does that, not only with the homeless, but with the members of the community that can help. That's it.
Thank you. Anyone? Oh.
Thank you for having us. I'm not the best public speaker, so make it quick.
You're fine.
So my name's Laurel. I'm a regional service coordinator for Conifer Park inpatient and outpatient services. I really wanted to be here in support of Haven of Hope and to shine a light on the vital role that they have in our community and to advocate for the crucial support that they provide to those in need. Over the past year, I've had a privilege of collaborating with Rachel and her team, and together we have worked tirelessly to assist individuals in our community by offering them a safe, welcoming space, nourishing them with food, and they have helped out a lot of my clients as they await for transportation. I want to share a powerful experience that really highlights the significance of Haven of Hope's work. So first, a client was set to transition from Oswego County Jail to inpatient treatment. Typically, we would have a client who would be court mandated, and it would be easier to coordinate a bed-to-bed. Unfortunately, for clients who are not court mandated, who are actually genuinely trying to seek inpatient services, they're released on whenever booking wants to release them. They may not have a phone. They may not even have any way to even get to treatment. So this is where Rachel and Joe came in. I let them know about the client. We weren't sure when he was going to be released, and they waited. They brought him back to Haven of Hope. They provided a supportive environment. They fed him. They clothed him and simply spoke to him and had a conversation. This was during the holiday season. They also had crafts. This man created a card, and it read, "For Christmas this year, I received life." This client went on to successfully complete our program. And this is not just the first time that it happened. I know that I can count on Rachel and her team every single time that I need anything in this community. So I really just want to say this. Haven of Hope embodies the spirit of resilience and support in our community. The name itself symbolizes the very essence of what they provide, hope and life to those who need it most. So respectively, thank you for having this discussion. Thank you for everybody in support of Haven of Hope. And together, I hope that we can continue to support this community.
Thank you. And Laurel, I want to say thank you for all the work you do at Conifer Park. My brother is a recovering addict, and really, your program really helped him get to a better place now. So I want to say thank you for personal experience as well. Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak at this time?
Hi, my name is Ryan Lance. I'm a resident of the city, and in particular, I thought I should speak today because I am, in addition to being a resident of the city, I'm also a neighbor. I'm only about a block away. I haven't worked with Haven of Hope yet, but I had hoped to in a food sharing event last Friday, which we were not able to have. So I don't know too much about Haven of Hope, but as a neighbor, as someone that lives about a block away, I am here in support of them. I want to see their work continued. I would encourage the city and the zoning committee in particular to make it happen. I don't have a lot to say about the whys and wherefores of why it's necessary. I think we all know that. Just as a neighbor, I'm here for you guys and I want you to be here.
Thank you. Anybody else who would like to speak at this time?
Good evening. My name is Jordan Mills Russell. I am a credentialed alcohol and substance abuse counselor for Farnham Family Services out at Oswego County DSS. Now, I'd like to say that I am here tonight in a personal capacity and not on behalf of my employer, so I'd like to start there. Second off, I'd also like to say my father is a member of a zoning committee in his town in North Carolina, and I have the utmost respect for the zoning committees and the work that y'all do. 100%, it is very, very vital and important. However, the work that Haven does is very personal to me. In 2016, I lived on the streets of Seattle. I slept in cold, wet alcoves for months in the winter, which they don't get winters like we do, and I thought I was going to die. I ended up eventually in an abandoned car for many months. It was a program like Haven of Hope that was able to get me where I am today. It took a very long time, okay? It's been 10 years. I've lived in the city of Oswego for 4. I'm now a homeowner in the city of Oswego. But it took a program like Haven, a place that provided a space where people can come exactly as they are, whether they're not sober yet or they're struggling with their mental health. Sometimes the first step towards recovery isn't treatment. It's being treated like a human being. And if we want people to rebuild their lives, we need to make sure that they have a place in our community that they can begin that rebuilding. I heard you mention that, Attorney, that the zoning laws don't even mention homelessness. And at what point does that need to be addressed? And at what point does that need to be brought to attention? But thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Anyone else like to speak?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Hi, my name's Wendy. I came to Oswego because I was in a relationship with my spouse who had a substance abuse issue, and I was abused. It was the second time I left, but that time it was on a bus, and I made it here. And I got it to stay with a friend for a day, and then I went to social services, and they sent me to a shelter. And I was accused of being a pothead, and I was not liked there. I had medicinal reasons for taking it in Maryland. I was certified and everything, but I was not welcomed. They sent me to a hotel that didn't have sheets and bugs on the wall. Human Services did, and that wasn't really nice, but I was homeless and I needed a place to stay. And it was unbearable to see the roaches and to get a fly swatter from the person at the desk and have to, well, but it was better than sleeping outside because I got bug bites all over my leg for doing that in the past. But I wanted to say that homeless people were everywhere for different reasons. Mine was domestic violence. And they need a place to stay during the day. Rachel is an angel for wanting to help people and get them out of the weather and to give them life and love and hugs and stuff like that. But what needs to happen in this transition. Oswego is a really great place. A lot of people are very caring and loving. But the system isn't conducive for everybody. And people with mental health issues, they fall on the wayside. They can't stay at the shelters. They can't bring their dog or their cat. You know, and there needs to be funds allocated for homeless issues, okay? There needs to be areas where homeless people can start and have their first home. So there needs to be zoning for that, like tiny house committees, tiny home communities, and things like that. And you guys are responsible for changing the laws, to voting for the solutions to help people find housing, okay? 170 people live without housing. There's 1,700 people in Oswego, and everybody has a heart in Oswego, I think, and they know that they wouldn't want to sleep outside either. So please, try to come up with the solutions and agree on them quickly, because I think there needs to be emergency fund for places like this, right? To help people get off the street temporarily. I think you guys can do this. I think we can help you with the solutions. Please, just take this and people's witnesses of how great things are when they have assistance, and how easily, once we have a good system, to get them off the street and into the housing and into the job. It can happen overnight. We just need all the pieces together. So help do that, please. And thank you for listening. I hope this touches your heart, and I hope it makes change for the rules, because there should be a place where people in a church can meet that are homeless and just be there for the day. That just seems ridiculous to push them out of the church when that's the place where they should be getting some help. So there needs to be a zoning specifically, maybe for her and her ideas and the community, because it's not a bad thing to help one another and to give and to be kind. So thank you, Oswegians, for helping me find a place when I was running from an abusive relationship. So thank you. But make it better, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody else who would like to speak?
I just wanted to, I can't believe I forgot. I wanted to address the Golden Girls from the church. I wanted to publicly thank you. When we had no home, you gave us a home. When we had no partner, you gave us a partner. And without you, we wouldn't have been able to get through this winter. So Trinity United Methodist Church, you'll always be in my heart. No matter where we go, you'll always be family.
All right, anybody else would like to speak at this time? All right, I don't see anybody, so at this time, I would like to adjourn the meeting. Can I have a motion?
Just to do it, yeah.
Ashley? Yeah. I was gonna say.
Yeah, I know, it's
Oh,
me.
okay.
Is this on? Nope. I want to thank everybody before I adjourn.
Okay, sorry.
I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. This is a really important issue, and we have really severe weather here, and there should be no unhoused population at all. I want to continue this work with Councilor Kennedy and the rest of the council and the providers here. I would like another meeting going forward with just the providers so that we can discuss the best way to deal with this. I think that's all I got. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Well, let me just say real quick too, sorry. I just wanted to thank everybody again for coming out. This is an important first step in this discussion and helping get everybody together and go from there. So thank you, and we look forward to making more meetings like this in the future. So thank you. So can I have a motion to adjourn? Oh.
Okay, second that.
Okay, sorry. A motion to conclude the session, please. Oh, sorry. Councilor Ashline? A second. Councilor Kennedy?
Councilor Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilor Ashline?
Yes.
And then can I have a motion to adjourn? Ashline?
Yes.
Okay. Counselor Kennedy?
What was that?
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor Ashline?
Yes.